So this is day 151 of the storm experiment. No seed oils, no meat, no animal food products, no highly processed foods. Barefoot walking in the jungle and exercise. So finally back in the jungle, and it's Monday, and I kind of feel a little bit sluggish right now. But then I'm just enjoying this slow stroll through the forest, walking barefoot, and I'm just thanking God our Father, like, for giving us so much. Like, I cannot imagine, man, how much He has given us, right? He's given us all these trees that we can climb, and He has given us all this land that we can walk on, and this amazing nature. And it just feels so good to be out here, to be taking in the pure oxygen from the trees. And what God has made is all good. But what we humans have made, we have tried to make a lot of things. Some of them are good, but most of them, they have some adverse effects. Even if it's very convenient, it's very comfortable, it's very luxurious, but then they have their side effects, right? Adverse effects on our body, on our mental health, on our spiritual health. But then what God has made is perfect. So it's always important to appreciate what man has made. We totally appreciate the modern inventions and everything, but then we need to appreciate more what God has made, and we need to balance it out, right? So I mean, staying too much inside four walls, just makes me feel so not so alive, right? You begin to have so much of thoughts in your head, overthinking and all this stuff. But then once you come out here in nature, like, all these things, they just vanish, and you just enjoy your life. You enjoy this moment, you enjoy this present moment. You become more present. You do not worry much about the future, or overthink too much of the past. So this is what God designed us to be, like, to be beings that live in the present, and to be more present, right? God keeps on teaching us about this, and keeps on telling us not to worry about tomorrow. And what God meant by that, I think, is He wants us to live in the present moment, because this is all we have, right? The present is all we have, if you think about it. Tomorrow is very uncertain. You don't know the world might end. But then what we have is this day, today, right now, this present. And God, as a good Father, He wants us to enjoy, to be joyful in the present, and not to worry about tomorrow, because He's got it figured out, man. Come on. He's already got it figured out. He's our creator. He's not just our Father, but He's our creator. He's God. He knows everything. He knows all that we need. The only thing that He wants us is to be joyful, to be living in the present, do our work honestly, sincerely, and with all joy, with all thankfulness and gratefulness in our heart for giving us this wonderful, precious body, right? We can do so much with this body. We can create things, we can invent things, we can do creative things, we can run, we can move, we can jump, we can make life much more meaningful and fun. And so all God wants us is to be thankful and to be grateful for what He has given us, and the rest, no need to worry about anything. We just need to work hard with all joy in our heart. And it's extremely peaceful out here in the forest, man. All these natural sounds of these living creatures, and I mean the sounds of nature are perfect, right? They're perfectly designed for the human ear. And my camera's doing funny stuff, man. Sorry. So God has designed these sounds so perfectly, like sounds of nature, and they are so soothing to your ears, your mind, and they're just perfect, right? Unlike the sounds that were created by man. Because God made it all perfect, right? And even though, like, we humans, we manage to create music, but then something about music is like, you can enjoy it for a few hours, but then you cannot keep on listening to it, right? But then God has given us this natural sounds and natural music in nature that our ears, they never get tired of listening to them. So I'm always having this comparison between what God made and what man made, and I think we can agree to the fact that what God has made is far, far, far more better than what man has made, right? So I mean, there's no comparison at all, right? And human intelligence is nothing, man. It's nothing compared to God's intelligence and wisdom. So we might think that we are really wise beings and intelligent beings, but then man's wisdom and intelligence is nothing compared to God. And what we think is wise, what we think is intelligent, it's actually foolishness in front of God. So that is why we need to keep on humbling ourselves in front of God, and to live with humility, fearing Him, and knowing that He is the one who knows everything. And yeah, it's always great to learn about this planet, learn about the scientific reasons behind why things happen, but then we'll never be able to reach to that limit that we will be able to understand everything. We will never be able to reach that limit, and because that is like, limitless, because it's God's wisdom, it's God's intelligence, and we can learn as much as we can. And more importantly is to always be thankful and grateful to God for giving us such a perfect system, for giving us this life, and to always be thankful and grateful. That's the only thing that we have to do in this life. And to keep doing our work with joy, without any worry, without any fear, and just have full faith in our Creator, in God. Not to allow, these worldly system to manipulate us into making ourselves fearful, and to live in a very limited way, in very limited thinking, right? So as I said, feeling very sluggish today. uh, I think it might be because I did a research on the human body, like why some of us we have a different appearance than others, why is some of us are have a darker skin than others, with a lighter skin. And the thing is, darker skin means when our ancestors who were living in very hot regions in the past, right? So the body produced this melanin inside of their skin, and to protect themselves from the scorching heat of the sun while they were outside and walking and doing their work and finding food and all this stuff. So that's why me in particular, like I have darker skin. It's because of my ancestors. And why we have this blunt noses, because it's easier for us to breathe in hotter regions. It's easier for us to intake the oxygen, right? But then some people, they have this very light skin, fair skin, and they have very sharp noses. It's because their ancestors lived in very cold regions, and the body didn't need to produce too much of melanin, because you need to absorb as much sunlight as it can to keep itself warm, right? So that's why they have a lighter skin. And why their nose were sharp and pointy, it's because the air that they breathe in those cold regions, it first comes to hit the tip of the nose, making it a little bit warm before it goes into their nostrils, into their lungs, right? So that way, these pointy noses, these sharp noses, they were helping to protect their lungs from very cold air that they breathe in, right? So it's a very interesting thing, like when you do research into why certain human beings, they look a certain way, and why all of us, we don't look we have different variation in our features. So that's the thing, it's all about biology. It's how we interact with the earth, with the weather, with the the climate, and that's why. So it's quite interesting. So I'll be doing a little bit of exercise, and I still have this thing about filming myself in public. Like I have not learned how to be comfortable in the presence of few people around to be able to film myself. So I need to work on this, and I need to be to get more natural, right? I get very cautious when I'm filming and suddenly like I see a human pop up or some people pop up out of nowhere, and I just stop the recording. And so I think I need to develop on this, and to be able to just film and not to care like much about like what people think and all this stuff. But it's good, this is how we learn, this is how we develop ourselves, in any area of our life. Initially it makes us uncomfortable, but then we have to uh, walk past through that state and just do it, like just do it. And I know that eventually it'll just be normal, and I won't care, like even if I film in front of people or with people around nearby. So it's just that I'm not used to it, but then I think I'll get better at this, right? So I just need to keep on doing it, keep pushing past through it, and it won't be as awkward anymore, right? It's all in my head, it's all in our head, right? So So that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for watching and for being with me on this amazing journey. Take care of yourself, eat clean, enjoy your movements, and do it all for the glory of God. Okay, I'll be seeing you back again tomorrow. Bye.